What's up, fandom? I'm Josh, and today we have a very special episode for you. We're going to be talking about Monkie Kid, Lego Monkie Kid, Lego the Monkie Kid, Monkie Kid the Lego form, and we've got some wonderfully special guests. Returning is Sam Sawyer.
Hello, I don't know if this is being recorded, they can see my face. Can they see my face?
You can see your face.
Okay, then I can wave.
I mean, hey, you can pretend to wave. I mean, you can wave and they not see your face for the audio. That works as well. I mean, that works just as well.
That's true. That's true.
We also have the incomparable Elijah Bailey.
Oh man, the incomparable.
I
should have had my wife in here for this. Like, I never get compliments. Like, thank you.
I'm not even 100% sure what incomparable means, but
I mean, it sounds great.
Exactly. It sounds big and professional. So I was like, there you go.
Thank you, sir.
We also have from Monkie Kid, we also have executive producer Villads. I'm gonna butcher your last name, so I'm not even gonna attempt it.
Spangsberg.
See, I wasn't gonna go with it. I was Spangsberg, and I'm like, nah, that's not right.
It doesn't work at the DMV as well. Like, you walk up there and they're like pronouncing your name at Starbucks. You know, it's a nightmare. But that's Spangsberg.
That would be pretty cool. Just saying. Then we have the main character himself, MK. We have Jack De Sena.
Hello. How's it going?
Guys, thank you all so much for coming on. This is hopefully it's going to be a fun episode. If not, then this will never come out.
It'll be dreadful. It'll be the most boring, slow episode you ever know.
No, I've had worse. Like,
are you talking about my episode I came on?
He's talking about mine.
See.
I mean, there's the reason that Sam's episode never came out.
Oh,
I knew it.
Oh.
I knew it.
Oh, wow.
Lost
Can
files.
we make this the same episode now?
Yeah.
There we go.
This is really an episode for Sam. Thank you all for joining. The Salem series. No,
No, maybe later.
that's soon. Salem is coming soon.
Work in progress.
We're going to talk about Monkie Kid now. Villads, is it Lego Monkie Kid or is it Monkie Kid? Because it's a Lego property, but do we just go with like Monkie Kid?
I would say Lego Monkie Kid, because it's, it is a spin on a very rich mythology, a very great book, Journey to the West. It is definitely an original piece. I think we twisted every turn, and we took all this great inspiration and we put it through the kind of like Lego creative machine, and we tried to make it as unique as possible from both a Lego perspective but also from not a Lego perspective, because we didn't want it to be another Ninjago. We wanted it to be its own thing, with a kind of like a very a global appeal where you're trying to satisfy and not scare off the Chinese audience, because it's for them, this is like one of the number 2 or 3 most important pieces of literature, and you have to be very careful and do it the right way. And the team was basically built up with quite a few in our Shanghai office, and then some creatives back in Denmark where I was at the time, together with the Lego crew, and we're basically just jamming on this, and we found the most ridiculous animation studio in Sydney who could also give this a crazy twist, and I think the original pitch was make it something we haven't seen and make us uncomfortable, which they succeeded in, and I think they're still doing that to this day, which is impressive. And then of course we have a really stellar cast, both in China. We have a really good cast, but then the American cast is just, absolutely mind-blowingly good. Like, those sessions and have just been some of the best. I don't know, Jack, how you feel, but
it's a ton of talent and it's very fun. We were maybe like we were still finishing season 1 when the pandemic started. So like a big bulk of what we've recorded has been remote and just in closets and stuff. And so just being able to like walk into my closet and listen to these incredibly talented people is a real joy. Steve Bloom and Stephanie Sheh and Sean Schemmel and David Chen. I mean, I could name all the people. They're all freaking great.
They're all like A-list, super top of their game, talented. And it's that I think that cast is like a first for Lego to have such a strong all around, just, right out the gate. That show was just like so fast, so fun. It's a bit of a roller coaster. And I think even, I had to kind of get used to the speed of the show, coming off a little bit of a slower show also with Jack. So, but yeah.
I will say, like, I like the fact, and we've covered, the Lego, like the Lego movies on the podcast before. I love the fact that this isn't like a Ninjago or anything like that, where it's like or like those current ones that I think they've got on Netflix, the Lego Jurassic Worlds and Star Wars special and stuff like that, where like they look like Legos and it looks like the Lego movie type of thing. I love that this is like pretty much fully animated. Like,
yeah,
how much of the the style of the show like was a big selling point? Like, did you guys know, like, was it originally going to be kind of like that same animation like a Ninjago, or what did you guys know like from the beginning that you wanted to do like this more 2D aesthetic?
It's a great question. So how it usually works with these, is that you get a few studios to pitch in, and there was a few traditional kind of more 3D, closer to Ninjago style studios that pitched, and then Flying Bargain in Sydney did a pitch that was so good and so much better than anything we've seen before. It's a piece that I don't think has been ever released, and I kind of hope it will be released because it's a slightly unique take on a scene that's in the pilot, but it's before people like me and other Lego executives came in and destroyed everything. So it's even kind of crazier and even more violent and even faster. We dialed it back a little bit to make it, kind of age appropriate, which I question if we completely succeeded in, but so it was never, the style really came from Flying Bark, and of course us choosing that studio, and we made some small adjustments. The minifigure, the Lego minifigure, the little man is a trademark, and it's a trademark you have to protect, because you can actually lose that trademark if you don't use it proper. So you can't own a trademark and then change it, because then you are screwing with your own trademark. So going into a hand-drawn, because this is a hand-drawn show.
Mega blocks, and nobody wants that. Like,
exactly. You want that Danish.
Oh shoot! Quality. We accidentally made them all connects. What happened?
We can do a spin-off with no, let's not do that. So yeah, sorry. I will go off the tangent here, but like, because it's a hand-drawn show, there was a bit of a growing pains getting everything on model and finding the style, and also there's quite a lot of things going on in this show, and people will stop and watch it every single frame, so we have to make sure it looks pretty good every frame of painting, and yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, yeah, I had to do that because, I mean, just like some of the faces for the characters, like when there's like an action scene going on, like there's that chase scene, because like we're mainly going to be talking about the pilot episode, A Hero Is Born. There's this, like when they're all in the bus, the Pigsy's food truck thing.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
You did great.
Oh my gosh, it's been my brain is long, guys. When they're in that, there's some cool little scenes between like MK and May, and they're just like, like they're just making like faces at Eddie, just like random faces. And I'm like, I had to go back and like watch those. I'm like, this is just so good. Like all these little bitty bits. Like I love little bitty bits that studios put in, because it kind of helps you, see that they care. And it's like, I really enjoy that. What about you guys?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful style, and it's really unique to the Lego franchise, which makes it so appealing. And so it's like, I want to see more of it because of the art style. Because again, like you're used to the little Lego guys, but these are so unique. It makes it really appealing. I feel like not just for people that enjoy Legos, but also for a wider audience as well.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, and one of the things that captured me because I watched a ton of anime, ton of movies, and from right off the bat, just the story between DBK and Monkey King, and seeing that initial fight drew me in to when we went basically to our main character MK and started. He's being told this story, and you see his passion. You're like, oh my god, this is one of those that's going to be. Me and my friend Richard, we have categories for anime, like classic, legendary. This is good. I wish we had another season. And this goes up on the shelf for the classic ones because, like, small references we were talking about before we started recording, pulling the staff from the ear, seeing Nimbus come down the pole, and then you have this larger than life DBK, the huge bull in this battle, and you're like, this is not Legos, this is not Lincoln Logs, this is 2021. We're coming in, and one of the things that I thought was so interesting is I went on YouTube to see if anybody mentioned anything, and then I found a couple of 11 to 15 minute, maybe 8-minute videos about why the hell is Lego Monkey Kid not here, and when are we going to get it in the US? And I'm like, whatever you saw, that's what I saw from the first episode. And it just draws you in to where the 45-minute run seems like 20 minutes. And I'm like, I want more now. So I love it. The art style, the narrative, just the relationships between each character. Beautiful.
It's like the fastest paced thing I've ever been. Like, it feeling like it flies by is just, it's so dense. There's so many visuals and so many jokes and so many, from an acting perspective, it's like a million turns a second. Every line has like 6 jokes in it. It's very dense. It's very fast moving. So yeah, it does feel short. It just kind of like blitzes at you.
I think that's the beauty of it though, too, because with now streaming almost seems like it's everywhere. Every forum, like parents are streaming their kids just doing stuff around the house now. And to have something that's fast paced and moving that draws you in when there's a lot of dramas being made, a lot of other series that are having their continuations and they're drawn out and you're invested in that story, but to be pulled into something new and take you out of what we're going through, like the pandemic and stuff's closed down, stuff opening back up. I'm not going to lie. I watched this probably 5 times.
Hey,
easy watches, easy. In the bed with my dogs, in the living room. My wife came in from work. I had her go back out so I could watch it again. This is just one of the series that was kind of got me back into Lego, because I'm always down for Lego Star Wars. Huge Star Wars guy. But then when you start like Ninjago and the other ones, the 3D animation kind of took me out of it. And to see this, and then not only to, I know you guys call him Jack, but JPDS is on the screen, and then you have Sean Schimmel coming in with the voice, and then Steve Bloom, and you're just like, I don't know if I can take this. Like all of these voices, all of the emoting, and that's one thing that Jack, I wanted to ask, like how going from other traditional characters, like you said, they're slower pace. I noticed that your characters seem to have this overall hero's journey where they don't know if they have the confidence, but they have the dream. And you clearly see that in this first episode with MK.
Yeah.
His appreciation for the Monkey King. Then I don't know if I can do this. I shouldn't even be able to do what I'm doing now. And it's just like a little bit of faith. And that right there, like, I know that I feel like you pulled this specifically from Iron Giant. It's like, this is your dream. You can decide who you are. And starting the series out that way, I feel like when you're talking about reaching out to the younger demographic, I feel like that's what kids are looking at now. What can I be? What do I want to do? And this instills that in them, but also reinvigorates it for adults as well. Like I'm 34 and I'm like, dude, I'm about to be a firefighter, I guess, or police. I'm about to go out here and do something new because MK did.
Aww.
So, I loved it.
Yeah, it's a cool launch that it's this kid who sees that, this world of legend and then gets to step into it. That it's not, it's a hero's journey into a world that he already admired and worshipped in that way, which is very cool. And then he's gonna, as the confidence builds, I will say this character gets to a place. I really enjoyed getting to explore a level of sort of like cockiness eventually with this character that I often don't bring to stuff. I tend to keep an anxious note in everything I do, and this kid gets pretty brash eventually, in some very fun ways.
I gotta say real quick, I love having Elijah on because he literally took the question that I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask about the hero's journey.
See, you guys don't know this, but I'm Josh's podcast wife. Even though we're not on episodes all the time, like I know what he's thinking. He needs his foot rubbed right now. He needs a shoulder massage, but I wanted to take those off because I knew you had something else brewing in the. I know, I love you, man.
I will say there's something that does kind of stink about Monkie Kid, and that is the toys aren't here yet. Like I wanted to go out and I was like, man, that big huge mech. I was like, I want that. Like that would look so cool, like on a shelf right here. I want the big mech. And I was like, $254.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's not.
Well, I can a few things. Like first of all, Eli, I need to get you some more screeners because you should be watching that pilot 5 times. There's a lot of interesting story coming. I'm not gonna lie, and if you're into this universe, you might already have found some bootlegs at YouTube or what have you. And we are, there's already, several seasons in different stages of finalization, but there's a lot of story. The characters, we keep taking it one step up, as Jack said. I think the pilot is a great piece in its own right. And I'm sure it will sell some products, Josh. They might be pricey, but man, building that mech, was the first time I built Lego for a long time, and it was an incredible experience. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like that product is so good; it's worth every penny. And there's more coming, unfortunately. So I need to ask my wife now, like if I can buy some of that.
Well, hey, I mean, yeah, that was one of the things because like I grew up with Lego because I mean I don't know who didn't. Like we grew up with Legos, so it's like I loved playing with them. And this was one of the things I was like, okay, this not a lot makes me want to go back into like that Lego market. But yeah, this I was like, man, it just looks so cool. I don't want to build it. Like
it's an incredible piece. And it's like the products inspired the writing. The writing, the actors in the booth, I think Jack and the guys, when you ask Jack to do a little ad lib, you get a full episode of just hilarious stuff, and it completely breaks everybody because you can't, suddenly you have so much good stuff and the episodes are running like twice as long as they should, and the rest of the staff, the rest of the cast is the same, and then the show is very kind of board driven, as we say in the industry. So the writers would do a draft and we'll go through all the passes with me and, the other creators and some of the toy people. But then the directors would take that with the actors. They would do like rewrites. They would do like crazy gags that I was definitely a little bit like, how are we getting away with this? And there was, honestly quite a few times where we're like, let's not ask, let's just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's working. Like, and we in season 2, especially, we're doing some pretty crazy stuff to the characters that I don't think the official Lego guidelines do allow. But it works, and people, get into the universe and they love the life that brings. And yeah, buy the products afterwards, I'm sure.
Yeah, because speaking of the universe, like it is Lego, but it's also not Lego. Like it doesn't feel like something Lego. But then in the pilot, we do have one of the bull guards, just like rips his arm off, Lego style. And it's cute. And you're like, yeah, this is cute. Lego, but it doesn't really feel like Lego, which to me makes me think that the show is going to do very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's different enough and it's 2D and there's not a lot of stuff coming 2D anymore. We're all moving on to like the weird, like CG 3D type of thing. So like I love that it's, you know, it looks like this, like the style is great.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, it's so nice. Like it reminds me a lot of like Wakfu.
Oh yeah.
The way it's paced and everything, like everything's so fast. And like I was like, oh yeah, I was like, because I want more Wakfu, and I'm like, this is perfect. This is what I wanted. So it gives me this nice little like breather from Wakfu, because you're like, oh, have some Monkie Kid on your plate. What were sorry, go ahead, Vils.
Sorry, I just want to really quickly mention, because we were talking about distribution a second ago, and I know everybody's asking the same question 1,000 times. So I just want to say that, you know, sit tight, everybody. It's coming very, very soon to North America. The deals are signed. It's coming. It's exciting. It's a great home for this fun franchise. So it's coming.
See, I had a question.
Guys, in 2031.
Like, I know we got the toys, but are we going to get any shoes? Because DBK and Red Sun went in there and they came out with some nice kicks. And I was like, this right here, like adding this in is amazing. And then Steve Bloom both playing like the shoe store assistant and DBK. Like,
Yeah, he's all over there.
Yeah. But sitting there taking pictures, like, yeah, I was like, you know what? This is stepping outside so many boxes. It kind of reminded me of Xiaolin Showdown,
Yeah,
but also
throwback.
mixed with like a modern version, narratively wise, you know, similar to Outlaw Star and Trigun, to where you're going through this journey and you're not really sure where it's going to go, but you know it's going to be something epic. So, but I do want some shoes. I'm not gonna lie. I need some new.
I mean, you're gonna have to get in line. Like it was a long line, so I don't even know.
That's
If you
okay.
pre-order, like how does that work? Do you pre-order that and then you still have to be in line? Because that's
They just hot dropped it, man. You just got to show up.
you go.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Send something out on Insta, and they were like, "Be here in 10 minutes, guys."
Yeah.
And that's cool too. Like a world that we get like this neon gritty, and then you have social media too, but you're telling a martial arts. Like for you guys that don't know, because I don't know how, I think we talked about Josh, but I'm a 4th degree black, but I've been doing martial arts since I was 4, and anything martial arts driven, you know, tickles my fancy. But this, like adding in everything, especially now, seeing a lot of martial artists having shoe deals and clothing deals outside of traditional gis and things like that. It's just like blending the world. You're seeing it in animation now. It's just full circle, and it always makes me feel warm on the inside.
Jack, what do you want to see? Like, is there something that MK hasn't done yet that you want to see him pull off?
Oh no, I don't know how to not spoil all the very cool things that I know are coming in the next. I mean, yes, so many. Like there's a cool, like the Monkey King has such a wide array of abilities and powers traditionally within these stories. So there's a narrative structure that we'll play with sometimes where like there's some sections of seasons where it's just like episode to episode, sort of collecting a new power, sort of learning a new skill, building a thing, trying to get to Monkey King's level. And there's some very cool ones. I can say that. I don't know if I should say much more than that.
No.
But stuff that the Monkey King can do that I'm excited for people to see is like the transformations. I think is a very cool thing. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's definitely like when you look at some of like the play sets, it's like spoilers for the show, because you're like looking at it and be like, oh, that's gonna be cool when that happens.
I'm curious, Villads, I don't know that well. Like, what direction does that stuff flow? Are there things that are, because most of the stuff that's in the toys is in the show, and I'm curious, like, is it the toy first, and then we know, like, cool, that'll be a set piece at some point in the show, or does it work vice versa?
Well, it's almost a different podcast because I can talk about the Lego process for like weeks. And it's a process that works, very well. They really perfected it over the years, and it's been very much the same. They call it the play theme puzzle. And it's basically like this, imagine like a nightmarish PowerPoint in one slide that has every single touch point of a franchise at Lego. It's very, down to the math. And then they throw, different creatives like Simon Lucas onto it, who was the toy director on Monkie Kid for a long time, and like animation hitman like myself on it, like kind of these like these maniacs into this very perfect spreadsheet, and it completely kind of starts to gel. And that's when it works, because there's also examples where that don't work, and the creatives are kind of stuck in this spreadsheet. But we made it work. Also, as you mentioned, Xiaodong was one of the main creators of this, and the three of us kind of got together and we looked at all these different parts. And over the years, we basically were, discussing where can we take this franchise? What is the next episode? We would bring in Chinese writers and our American writer, Jeremy. We bring in like Sarah and David, the directors in Sydney, and we all kind of be jamming on ideas. Sometimes the product team will be like, hey, we really want to do a really cool mech, because, mechs are cool. And we're like, another mech? Okay. I guess we can write that in somehow, Yeah. But most of the time it's very organic. It's the design team pitches ideas, hey, we should do a boat. And we're like, oh, well, Sandy, what if Sandy loves ocean adventures? And then suddenly it becomes his thing. Now Sandy is just like all about ocean. So it's organic. And when it works, the people inside that spreadsheet are in harmony. And it's not a prison. It's a golden cage of opportunity.
So it's a lot more organic, you'd say, when you're creating these toys, it mixed with these stories and these characters. Because I noticed, like, when you watch the first few seasons of Ninjago, and just in comparison, because Legos, it feels very forced. Like, oh, look, they have dragons now, but there's a motorcycle too. We just so happen to have toys of each. So it feels a bit more organic, or like...
We have a little bit of that issue, I think, as well.
But we also make some very meta jokes about it. I think
we're very self-aware.
Yeah.
We're like, how convenient. Like
I was gonna, like, that was gonna be one of our next topics, was like just kind of like the humor in the show. And yeah, I know exactly, like, you guys start when he pulls out the little schematics. It's like, do you not think I would have 3? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yes, there's obviously a stage 3. Why wouldn't it turn into something else? But yeah, no. Answer more of Sam's question, because that was really good.
I'd like to go to you, Jack, actually, because you've been doing so many high quality animated shows in your life, and I don't know if we'll. I guess we are high quality on Monkie Kid as well. I'm not sure, but
feels like it.
Kind of feels like it, but I'm not sure. We'll see what people say when it comes out. But what's the main difference from your perspective? Coming from Avatar and Dragon Prince into this.
I mean, the biggest difference between both of those shows and this, like, by far, is the pace. Like, this show is just so jokey, so fast moving, so much like compared to Dragon Prince. Like, Dragon Prince is, like, I think a beautifully, like, patient show where we're building this world and mythology, and Monkie Kid, probably in part because it's building off of an existing mythology, is just spraying it at you out of a fire hose. And also, like you were saying, that we have some self-awareness. There's like a meta nature to this show that I think is like common in Lego stuff. It feels like, like the Lego movie at least like calls some of that stuff out. And then I think we do it a lot here. But I think there's still, so it's a show that I think is much more action and joke centric than a lot of the stuff I've done before, but still with a good amount of heart. We do still like slow down for an emotional beat, but not as often as Dragon Prince, which I think like really is these like, very in-depth character piece emotional scenes. I think are more a staple of Dragon Prince than this, which is this high octane mile a minute show.
Oh.
And the writing, it's very tricky because, you can take it so far in terms of like, the breaking the fourth wall, all the Lego jokes, this would have been easier with fingers. There's so many jokes. And it's actually, I think it's a skill to find the level. because as you guys have kept saying, it's like it doesn't feel like Lego, and I'm definitely debating if that's a good or bad thing. But anyway, for now, I would say it's a good thing. And it's just finding that, you know, that balance where you're still in the universe and it's still serious, right? It's still emotional, because I think, you know, especially in later episodes and seasons, like we take it in places where we don't want the audience to just be like with their phones doing other stuff. We want them to be watching this for the, you know, the 11 minutes. And actually, season 1 is very kind of episodic, kind of, you know, the villain of the week. And we go with the writing more serialized, like meaning the episodes are a little bit more connected, and more so as we go, because it's like you're luring in, you know, the kids and their parents, be like, oh, this show is easy to watch. You know, you can digest it. It's easy. And then next time we hit them, it's a little bit more serious. They get a little bit more attached. Yeah, because I think they're ready for it. And then as we go, it gets.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say where we are in recording, but where we are now is very dense. Like, I love it that like now we're in a place where like, this is a payoff of something that happened. You know, they move so fast, and then we've got stuff that's paying off 15 episodes ago, paying off the previous season of like, that character is finally coming back in a really meaningful way. We get into that. The villain of the week formula, I think, ends up building to, okay, now we've established in a very quick period of time, we've established 10 villains who can all sort of be popping up in different places with different meaningful interactions.
Wow.
And I see that builds to some really cool stuff.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, actually,
Saturday morning vibes.
That actually brings up another question, which thank you for setting that up, Jack. That was great.
I read ahead in the outline here, so I was just figuring.
You can't see.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that's, they don't know.
It's really interesting that you say that about like the different types of villains. And so it's kind of like, so Monkie Kid, you know, it's based off of the Chinese mythology Monkey King. So are the villains also based off of mythology as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great question.
Yes. I'll go ahead.
Okay. We are based it because there's such a rich, there's so much great mythology, so many great stories. I think we are opening up a little bit in later episodes. I think it's so hard not to tease anything here. So I'm sorry, Josh. I think we might have to do it maybe in half a year. We can meet again and we can talk about it again.
Hey, we'll be here in half a year.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about that.
I mean, hopefully we're in Oklahoma. You never know.
Candace could be here for a half a year. Who knows?
You have to move back to LA. That's what you have to do. But that's a whole other discussion.
Plan. That is the plan.
Yeah. I had a question.
We can do this in person next time, I guess.
Oh, I'm down for that. Both of you being fathers of young, very, very young children, has that shaped and changed the way that you are actually creating your content? Has Ella of Arabia inspired you to write an episode just focusing? Because I know, like, at the very end, we see Princess Ironfan coming in to swoop in, and you're like, there's another strong female lead opposed to Mai, and you have both of these groups that, I don't know, it seemed like they just stuck out to me that they are holding these groups together. That's going to be the heart of each one of the villains and the heroes, and then there's going to be relationships that build in there. So how is your own personal experience with these new bundles of life? I know Ella's almost 5 now. How
My daughter?
Yes.
She's turning 2.
2. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm adding some ears. I'm trying to get you out of that sleepless phase.
My daughter's 15 months, so we're still pre TV. Yeah, all she watches is the Meghan Markle narrated elephant documentary. She's a big fan of that.
Dude, that's great.
It's great. It's great.
That's better than Baby Shark.
Yeah, I've avoided that so far.
It's the cliche. Just really quick, it changes your life a little bit. And I think as a writer and as a storyteller, it's fun to have a subject to terrorize for the next, I guess, 18 years with your stories, and it's it gives you a perspective, because a lot of people in this industry do not have kids, which is totally fine. It's a choice. But I'm very happy with the perspective it's giving me. And I think there's a few episodes coming up with a more of a father-son. There's also like Monkey King and MK has a little bit of a father-son relationship. He's just fairly terrible father and mentor. But yeah, no, I think it has influenced, and more and more so as, your kid is getting older and you're getting older as well, for sure. And like, I hope like she likes to watch the animatics and animation when I'm working.
Yeah.
And she likes, Monkey Kid a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Final thoughts on Monkey Kid before we start wrapping up.
I'm really excited for people to see it when it gets here. I think genuinely, I think it is like I think the way Villads is talking about like pulling people into it, I think it's a show that is an easy watch at the beginning that will reward you having watched an easy watch. Like it's a show that is just like delicious candy. It's very fast paced. It's visually, I think, totally stunning. I think there's some great jokes. I think it's something where it's just like you can just get in there and have it wash over you. And I do think you will then find the depth of character, the richness of the mythology, and the like eventual narrative payoffs to be quite fulfilling for candy. It's like protein candy.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
I'm excited for people to see it.
I think that summed it up, Jack. You did perfect. I don't want to follow that. That was perfect.
It's hard once there's protein candy analogies. It's just hard to top that.
Got it. Close the Zoom.
Guys, thanks you all so much. Thanks. Words. They're hard. Thank you all so much for coming on. So let's kind of, if you guys we'll do our outros everything now. So be sure and plug anything that you want to plug, social medias, all that stuff. Let's start with our wonderful guest. Let's start with Sam.
Oh, with me. Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Josh. As always, it's a pleasure. You can find me on the internets pretty much anywhere under Sam Sawyer, and stay tuned for hopefully some news on my animated series Salem. And pretty much we're getting there. There's not much I can say yet, but we're getting there.
That's the main.
Yes.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Villads, what about you?
Yeah, well, I hope everybody's going to watch the show when it comes out. And my name is so unique that there's usually only one search result on at least my first name is getting more popular. So I don't know, maybe I shouldn't jinx it, but yeah. And watch out for all the kid pictures. So yeah.
Aww.
Nice. Jack?
I'm on Instagram where I will post once a year. So you could check that out if you want to see me wish Happy Mother's Day to my wife once a year. I'm very bad at social media. I'm on Instagram, just at Jack De Sena. I do some sketch comedy on YouTube, Chris and Jack, that I can recommend to you. We've been doing that for years with me and one of my dear friends, Chris. So there's a whole catalog of sketch stuff that I'm proud of. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'm just dabbling my toe into the Twitch water. I'm a little bit every once in a while on Twitch now.
Nice.
So we'll see. We'll see if that's something I stick with. But yeah, and watch Dragon Prince as well. Villads and I also on Netflix. We got more of that coming out soon.
I hear it's a good show.
It's a good show. We're making
if you like good things,
4 more seasons of it. So
wow.
get in now.
Yeah, they
absolutely catch up.
So
that's another one that'll grab you. You don't need it's weird that these shows you don't need to do the traditional 3 or 4 episodes. I feel like the narrative choices at the beginning draw you in like immediately. So to what we're speaking on before, it doesn't feel like Lego, but it is Lego. I think this is just the new innovation, and people are going to craft to it, because now I want to go back and get Legos, and my buddy, him and his 2 sons are always on Lego. So I know when this drops, that's going to be where he's dropping all his money. No more Gundam. Oh yeah.
Nice.
And did you save me for last, Josh? Because I have a whole bunch of
Exactly. That I was
Like,
man, I was like, Elijah's got like 7 things he's gonna plug.
I in my older age, my wisdom, I'm not doing as many podcasts. If you want to find anything that I do as far as the podcast, go to blackenstudios.com, or you can search my name, The Elijah Bailey Show, anywhere, or A Little Bit of Anime. It's a bi-weekly anime podcast. And then follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Elijah_5000, where I am going through the Trunks DLC on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. But the reason you haven't seen me for the last few days is because I've been watching Monkie Kid. Like, no shit.
Over and over and over
again. Yes, like a good Samaritan shit.
And we'll put everybody's links and socials in the show notes so you can find all of those. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Cain. You can find the podcast on Instagram at What's Up Fandom, on Twitter at What's Up Fandom PC for podcasts. All of our episodes available: iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and on our website, animationstationpodcast.com. Thanks to 1 Outta 10 for the intro and outro for this episode. Check them out on Spotify. They're an awesome Glendale band. So if you're in the Glendale area, they do concerts now. So like they've started doing concerts again, so you can go check them out. Also, thanks to Wild Bills for sponsoring this episode. Drink some Wild Bills. Get yourself some delicious soda. Jack, you've been to conventions.
Uh-huh.
So you know that that was a weird way to say that. You know those they used to like, they kind of look like an old-timey like soda jerk place that the people walk around with like the big kind of like mugs, like the tin mugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our sponsor, Wild Bills. So
fantastic.
No cons going on right now. Wild Bills. Since there's no cons going on right now, they decided they were going to can all of their delicious sodas. So now you can buy them in a nice little 12-pack.
Very nice.
Loving for this accent. Like, love it.
Yeah. Can we redo the whole thing with that accent?
But use code Fandom10 at checkout to get 10% off your purchase there. They've also got barbecue sauces. They've got lemonade, teas, beef jerky, shot glasses, anything you want, they got them.
Summer drinks.
Guys, everyone, thank you so much for coming on. This was fun. Let's do it again in 6 to 10 months.
There we go.
When we get new stuff coming out.
See you, everybody.
All right. So for What's Up Fandom, I'm Josh.
I'm Sam.
I'm Elijah.
There's 2 more.
Oh, I'm Jack.
I'm Villads.
I thought you guys. All right, great.
See you guys.
I'm not the leading authority on action, poetic, or using big words. But this writer is my philosophy about living in such a world.